Hi guys, it's Joanna, and today I will be talking about new perfumes that I have discovered in Esxence. 2 weeks ago, I've been to Esxence and I have discovered new perfumes to talk about in my channel. Some of them I've already talked about in my last video, and some will be today. So I'm very excited to let you guys know about this Esxence haul because most of these brands are new to me. There's like two brands that I'm already familiar with. However, the other five perfumes that I'm going to talk about today are from brands that are new to me. Some of these fragrances are already available in the market. They are actually kind of like new, but there are at least like two in here that are not yet available. However, as far as I know, they will be available in July. And I asked you guys if you would actually like me to review fragrances that are not yet released. So yeah, there will be two today that are about to be released in July. And yeah, can't wait to share with you all the continuation of my Esxence haul. As for disclosure, yes, these fragrances have been kindly gifted to me when I was visiting their booth in Esxence. Let me start off this video with a brand that is very new to me and probably new to you as well. I only discovered this brand this year as well, and the brand is called Declination, and what I have to show to you guys is called Declination in Black. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I somehow talked about this brand already, as it is owned by an artist slash architect. So having said that, the concept of the brand is very artistic. The lid of the bottle actually looks like a sculpture, and like even the design of the bottle says a lot about the art of the founder of this brand. Anyway, what I have here is called Declination in Black, and I chose this particular perfume to bring home with me because it left me quite speechless at first spray. Declination in Black is my scent of the day, and I find it to be very intoxicating and very unique as well. There's a lot of notes in the note breakdown. However, the main notes that I am getting out of this fragrance are mango, coconut, leather, creamy sandalwood, and vanilla. So yep, you heard it right. Imagine creamy coconut and fruity mango with an addictive and intoxicating leather and vanilla in the base. This is such an unforgettable scent, in my opinion. I really rolled my eyes at the back of my hand the moment I sprayed it on, and I was told by the brand that it is actually their best seller. I highly recommend you checking out Declination in Black, especially if the sound of a creamy coconut, sweet vanilla, mango, and leather combo sounds appealing to you. I will say it's quite linear yet complex at the same time. I mentioned complex because the way that the creamy coconut, leather, smoky tobacco, and mango blended in this fragrance is quite impressive, as I actually find it refined. There is no screechiness in spite of the complexity of the notes that are present in this perfume, and I truly enjoy it. Definitely one of my favorite discoveries from Esxence. Not only it smells amazing, it also lasts for a long time, quite eternal actually, especially on clothes. And I love how dark, intoxicating, and sexy it makes me feel like. It has that addictive, dark, creamy, soft, powdery texture, especially in the final dry down. Once again, Declination in Black from the brand called Declination, and I find this fragrance to be perfectly unisex. All right, next up is also from a new brand that I just recently discovered in Esxence. This is the brand called Sisology, and the perfume that I'm showing you right now is not yet available. It is called Mute. I don't even have the note breakdown of Mute, so basically I'm just gonna let you guys know what I'm smelling out of this fragrance. So Sisology is actually a Korean brand. However, as far as I remember, they are expanding here in Europe. There's a lot of Italian retailers actually selling this brand. Before I start, I just want to show you how cute is this lid. This is actually inspired by a camera lens. So basically, the idea of their scents are actually capturing moments, hence the lid is inspired by a camera lens. So Mute is something that I'm gonna describe as an effortless, clean, fresh scent that is perfect for daily use. This is such my kind of scent because of that effortless elegance coming from the main note of iris. I told you guys that I don't have like the note breakdown of this perfume. I will say iris is the main star of this perfume. It's definitely clean smelling. There's something about it that also smells quite nostalgic. It's kind of like lipsticky, powdery. I have a lot of iris perfumes in my collection, and I will say Mute is definitely one of the best iris perfumes that I have now. So if you are the type who's into iris, I highly recommend you checking out Mute. Now, Mute reminds me of a lot of iris dominant scents. Let's say Sonic Flower and Latessa by Musk Milano. However, the difference is that Mute dries down into this very refined powdery iris and musk combo that is quite hard to explain. The final dry down is not Sonic Flower nor Latessa. The final dry down is so beautiful. I feel like they use a very high quality iris in here. I personally chose to take home Mute with me because I absolutely love it. When I was there, I was lucky enough to be presented their fragrances, and to me, Mute stand out. This is something that I will highly recommend to you, especially if you are an iris lover like me. This is not a complex iris, okay? However, the kind of iris that I find in here is of high quality. Very effortless, elegant style of iris. Starts off quite vegetal and peppery, and then dries down into this clean smelling, soft, powdery iris musk and violet combo that I know for sure a lot of you will enjoy. This can be a perfect signature scent for anyone who enjoys iris in their fragrances. And this is a kind of perfume that you will definitely see me talking about a lot in my channel, as I feel like this can be like a perfect signature scent. Once again, Mute by Sisology, and I find this fragrance to be feminine leaning. All right, next up, once again, is a Korean brand that I just discovered in Esxence. This is called Insenf, and the perfume that I have today is called Orange Patina. When I was passing by their booth, it smelled so good that I had to stop and wonder which perfume I was smelling. And it was Orange Patina. I actually met the owner, and the owner is also a perfume content creator based in Korea. His name is Sense Fragrance. I'm gonna pop his handle on the screen. I actually had like a very good conversation with him, and I just love it when a content creator decide to have their own brand. Anyway, Orange Patina, guys, is a very unique scent. Aside from orange, it also has some refreshing fruit notes like watermelon, passion fruit, and peach. It is contrasted by dark plum, leather, suede, guayacud, and amber in the base. This is not your ordinary fruity or citrus scent. I love that it is complex and very unique. I find the contrast and the blend very interesting. I haven't smelled anything like Orange Patina. And actually, as I have tried several scents from their brand, I find their perfumes very unique. Like at first spray, this to me smells like very cutesy, fruity scent. However, after 5 seconds, I'm kind of like slapped with that dark plum, suede, and leather. Definitely a unique scent. This is a kind of perfume that I can imagine wearing like more in fall time. There's something cutesy and muted about it. However, it is also dark, quite balsamic, and ambery. So having said that, it's like fun at the same time dark kind of scent. I absolutely love Orange Patina, not your ordinary fruit scent, and I highly recommend it if you are looking for something very unique yet wearable to add in your collection. As far as I know, Insenf as well is available in a lot of Italian retailers. Once again, Orange Patina by Insenf, and I find this fragrance to be feminine leaning. All right, next up is also a Korean brand. As you can see, I discovered a lot of Korean brands this year and I'm just so happy about it. So this is from the brand called La Persona, and this is called Whispering Kiss. So Whispering Kiss is an extra de parfum. This is not a new release this year. As far as I remember, this is actually released last year. And I know that it is quite hyped in TikTok. All I can say is that I understand why. As you can see, I have used this perfume a lot already, considering that I only have it for like 2 weeks now. And it is because I truly enjoy this scent. Basically, this is a warm, spicy, quite boozy, sweet, elegant scent that is perfect as well as a signature scent. It has a unique note of red bean, which I haven't really seen a lot in perfumes. So that red bean paste along with the rum and blonde tobacco are the main notes that I am getting out of this fragrance, with that clean smelling vanilla, amber, and patchouli in the base. This is such an easy wear, elegant, signature scent worthy kind of scent. It was love at first sniff for me too. I basically tried all of their fragrances, including their new release. I think it's called Salty Skin. But Whispering Kiss was my favorite out of them all. And it is because it smells very elegant. The rum in here is very well blended with that blonde tobacco, along with the clean smelling vanilla and amber in the base. A Whispering Kiss is such a likable scent in my opinion, and also it smells very sophisticated. Now, I just want to let you guys know that it kind of reminds me of Born to Stand Out's Drunk Lovers. However, this is like a very refined drunk lovers. This is done in such a refined way. There's something about it that is very appealing to me. I think even if you don't like rum in fragrances, you will enjoy Whispering Kiss. I love this fragrance and I highly recommend it to you guys. Once again, Whispering Kiss by La Persona. It is an extra de parfum and it lasts for a very long time on skin and on clothes. It is unisex, however, in my opinion, leaning more feminine. All right, now I think I'm kind of done with the Asian discoveries. So next perfume is from Fomowa Paris. I am familiar with the brand as I owned already Akatsuki Melba. And if you watch my channel, you know that I love that perfume so much. So Vanille de Rois, I hope I pronounced it right, is their newest release. Basically, Vanille de Rois is an addictive and intoxicating vanilla pastry scent. So it has a lot of notes in the note breakdown, and I'm just gonna let you guys know what I smell out of this perfume. The opening smells very gourmand, very sweet and nutty. It almost smells like a nutty vanilla almond pastry. So having said that, very nutty, gourmand kind of scent. And then as it dries down, I find that intoxicating pastry aspect to be gone, and then I'm left with this warm, spicy, dark, sexy vanilla. It definitely reminds me of Absolute Aphrodisiac by Initio in the final dry down. However, remove the animalic side of it and make it more gourmand. Yeah, that's how Vanille de Rois smells like to me. This is definitely for all the vanilla lovers out there. I own Absolute Aphrodisiac, and I don't find it to be redundant to own in my collection. As mentioned, this is like Absolute Aphrodisiac done in a slightly gourmand way. The opening is very nutty, vanilla pastry like. However, in the final dry down, I'm left with that dark and sexy vanilla patchouli combo, and I'm also getting here like some incensey factor. It is absolutely beautiful. I will definitely be using this fragrance when the weather is cooler, as I think that this is more of like a cooler weather scent. For sure it will be on my winter tray this year, and yeah, I highly recommend it if you are a vanilla lover, and if the sound of a nutty, dark, slightly incensey, sweet vanilla sounds appealing to you. Once again, Vanille de Rois by Fomowa Paris, and I find this fragrance to be feminine leaning. Speaking of vanilla, I also have here the newest of Sarah Baker, Va Va Vanilla. And guys, this is such a potent scent. Mm. Actually, it's not just vanilla. As to me, this is a very complex scent. I would say cherry, espresso martini, dark and sweet vanilla, leather are the main notes that I'm getting out of this fragrance. It definitely opens up with that intoxicating cherry and coffee combo that somehow smells like a cocktail. I would say imagine like an espresso martini with like a cherry, actually not just a cherry on top, but like few cherries on top, because I find the cherry here to be quite prominent. So espresso martini with that cherry fruits on top, grounded by sweet and thick vanilla, leather, and guaiacol. It is definitely a cool weather scent, and it is fantastic in my opinion. This is such a complex fragrance that I definitely enjoy wearing. However, I just find it to be like too heavy and potent for now. This will definitely be on my fall perfume tray, and I definitely love this perfume. Actually, this might be like my favorite fragrance from Sarah Baker yet. Not only it smells amazing and complex, this is also very potent, guys. Like it can easily be a beast mode fragrance, especially if you overspray. And I just love how they actually pull this fragrance off because it's unique and complex. Once again, Vava Vanilla by Sarah Baker. If the sound of cherry espresso martini with dusty vanilla leather dry down sounds appealing to you. I find this fragrance very unisex, and in my opinion, this is her best so far. All right, and last but not the least, guys, is something that I don't own yet, a bottle. However, this was like my favorite discovery in Esxence this year, and this is from the brand Welton, London. This is in collaboration with Chris Collins. This is called Talisman. If you follow me on Instagram, I told you already that this is my number one discovery in Esxence because this is such a simple yet regal scent. This opens up very citrusy. However, this is not like your typical bergamot, mandarin kind of citrusy. I don't know, but I have a feeling that there is an elemi in here. So I would say like elemi, orange, bergamot. I don't know the note breakdown yet. So I'm just letting you guys know what I smell. So it is that refined citrus with some clean smelling musk and some spiciness coming from the elemi. Now, the beauty of this fragrance is the dry down, because as it dries down, I don't know how, but it becomes quite powdery on my skin. This is such a refined, fresh, spicy, citrusy, aromatic tea scent. I have a feeling that, yeah, it has a tea as well. So I will say orange, bergamot, elemi, musk, and tea are the notes that I'm picking up on this fragrance. It is very elegant, and yeah, I would say a citrus fragrance done in a very clean, fresh, and refined way. This is something that I would love to have a full bottle of, because it is something that I can see myself wearing as a signature scent. Even though it is actually giving more of like a summer CEO vibes. It's not yet available. However, it will be available in July, I think. I will let you guys know, of course, once I have a full bottle. But then, yeah, for now, like this was my favorite discovery in Esxence. It is Talisman from Welton in collaboration with Chris Collins. I actually met both Chris Collins and Mr. Welton, and yes, both are such gentlemen. And yeah, you will definitely see me talking about Talisman a lot in my channel. Once again, Talisman by Welton, Chris Collins, and I find this fragrance to be perfectly unisex. I highly recommend it if you are looking for a unique and refined citrus tea scent to add in your collection. So that is the video for today, guys. Those are the new fragrances in my collection. Let me know if you are interested in any of these fragrances, or maybe if you've tried some of them already. Let me know in the comments down below. If you're the type who loves discovering new niche perfumes, I highly recommend you checking out this playlist. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, guys, and see you on my next one. Bye!